I think I'm ready. I'm going to just give it a few seconds for people to come onto the chat. But wow, big powerful energy that we're in, and a big shift in energy today, specifically with the lunar nodes shifting signs. North node is now in Pisces, South node in Virgo. Are you feeling it? Or are you feeling Cancer? Are you feeling the Cancer full moon? Are you feeling Mars in Cancer in retrograde? Because that's what I'm feeling. I did upload a video that I did just from my car earlier today because I was just overwhelmed with emotion and went through the whole emotional process. Hi, PK. Went through the whole emotional process this morning as I was driving, and clarity certainly hit, and I just felt really called to share that with whoever needed to hear it, because it's definitely my process of how I run energy and emotions through me to come out the other side with clarity and realization. Hi, Martin. Here, Paige, there's a lot happening. Yes, there is a lot happening for sure. And hi, Lisa. Hi. Oh, so glad to see you guys all here. I'll just give it a few more minutes for people to come onto the chat before I even start sharing. But I do feel really called to share all of the different emotions that keep arising within me, because it's important to recognize that. And I realized this myself, especially this morning. Mars in Cancer, that's our masculine energy. It's the masculine energy in its detriment, meaning it can't fully express the way it's used to. It's been intense. Yes, it has, Lisa. And then in retrograde, because we're meant to take it back inward. And if any of you did see my video from this morning, you'll see that process how I did, instead of projecting it outward, took it inward and had the realization and the understanding of, this is patterns. This is related to my inner child, my childhood experiences I had with my mother. And it's reflecting back on experiences that I'm having right now, just in the last day or two. So, whew, and my heart goes out to everyone who has a lot of, first of all, a lot of emotions that are surfacing and they don't know what to do with them. I hope that some of my sharing helps people. Yeah, Wolf Moon coming. And I don't have my moderators on here yet, but so bear with me. Hi, Francesca. Okay, I lost my train of thought here. Hold on. Mars in its detriment, the masculine energy, which is our passion, our will, our drive, our fire, what gets us going, our motivations, as well as like what we feel that we want to take action on. It's held back. And so it's interesting because it's showing us where we had suppressed emotions, especially anger, rage, even as children, most likely because we weren't able or allowed to express it, or if we did express it, it was just ignored, which was the case for me, I think. Well, it's a little bit of both. And the Cancer Capricorn axis is mother-father. So our inner children are being stirred up right now. Any suppressed, repressed emotions from our childhood is coming to the surface in a very intense way through our current life experience. So it's a lot. It's a lot because collectively we have masculine collective repressed and suppressed emotional energy that must come out and be expressed, and it can be expressed in a very volatile way or a very aggressive way. Mars is also the planet of the warrior. It's the planet of internal battles is what I'm getting, because it's retrograde. A lot of internal battles right now. But those who are not used to regulating or processing emotions are going to project that outward onto others or onto the collective, or people, places, and things. PK, making a snow wolf sculpture right now, listening to you. Needed to get outside and be creative, else I felt I would lose it. Yeah, there's a lot of restlessness inside, internally, with all of us right now. I feel that deeply, and I'm really grateful to be able to be just home alone and process that myself and not suppress it, because it's going to keep coming back until we deal with the feelings, till we deal with the emotions that are arising, because it is coming from our inner children. Our inner child is like, hear me, listen to me, see me, understand me, because we may feel like we're not understood or heard or felt or seen by others, and that is definitely a reflection of what we're doing to our inner child. Martin says, important for sure. It plays with the midheaven I see in the Capricorn Cancer axis. And I deeply, deeply tapped into that axis in my life right now. And I know I said in my video that Cancer was in my 4th house. I take that back. Cancer is in my 10th house. Capricorn's in my 4th house. Same thing, but it's like reversed, regardless, feeling the polarity, and but more importantly, it's this full moon is in Cancer on the 13th, and the wolf moon, BK, on the 13th, and Cancer is the energy of the mother, or how we experience the mother figure, archetype, whether it's a caregiver, also family, also home, and our roots. The 4th house is of all of those things. And so we're getting a good look at what has been suppressed within us with regards to how we experienced our home, our family, our roots. For me, it felt like I was being uprooted again. With what I was experiencing, even though I know like I'm not, but it was bringing those feelings up of I'm not, this was my inner child talking. This isn't me talking, but the inner child with my experiences was, apparently I'm not worth hearing or paying attention to, because everybody else is too busy and too distracted to even pay attention to anything that I have to express. And I had to take that inward and see what patterns arise within me when I'm feeling that way, when my inner child is just frustrated and angry. That part of me shuts down. It gets angry. It's like, forget it. I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done trying. And really, truly, that's an authentic, genuine feeling that comes from my inner child. Let's see what you guys are saying. PK, and my birthday is on the full moon. What's that mean for me? Because definitely feeling it, yet feeling free in a way. Martin says, career, more Saturnian, erg. Yes, going inward, says PK. Yeah. So, without going too deeply, I'd love to, but because I've got a lot here on the whole entire year, but let's just focus on this moon, right? Where are we? I've got so much written down. Not just the moon and Mars. Well, okay, it is important to focus on Mars because that is right out of the gate, the very beginning. It is the first chain of events that must unfold in this transformative year of 2025. This year is going to be like no other. We will be connecting with our soul family, our soul tribe this year. But we've got some stuff to work out. And so, as I was saying in the last live or the last video, I don't even remember, the masculine, the Mars energy, the masculine energy within the collective field, within ourselves, is going through a deconstruction and a remodeling, so to speak, a renovation. And it's needed. It really, truly is. Because we were trained to really base life off of our intellect, the mind, the masculine principle, and take action and do things based off of logic and reason and intellect. And we completely disrespected or disregarded, and it's not anybody's fault, this is just how things have unfolded, the emotional intelligence within us, which is the divine feminine principle of everything. So with that said, we've denied our emotional intelligence. We instead walk around life just acting and pretending like we're fine, like everything's fine. Do you remember the everything's fine card? Until we snap, right? Until we have a breakdown. And then obviously everything is not fine because we have been disregarding our emotions. We've been disregarding our emotional intelligence that's been trying to experience or trying to express itself. Our inner child has been trying to reach us, trying to express itself. And we continuously say, no, that's the past. Shut up. Go away. PK, the wolves howl within us. Yes. Martin says automatically rather than autonomously. Yes. Yes. It's because we didn't give our inner child or emotions the attention that it needed, because these are unmet needs of when we were children. And then we expect that we're going to get those needs met by other people, and when they're not, because this is part of the life lesson, we shut down and we close ourselves off to our feelings and our emotions. And this really has created a big problem collectively within humanity. So this is the first stage of the evolutionary breakthrough is through the Mars or the masculine energy. Mars being in Cancer, in a very emotional feminine energy for an extended period of time until April 18th, I think. April 18th. Now it'll be in retrograde until February 23rd, but Mars will stay in Cancer until April 18th. So we're going to be getting really used to feeling our feelings, expressing our feelings, giving ourselves that nurturing, loving freedom to express and feel like never before, like we've never before. Francesca, that's what I'm going through now, a breakdown, just like you felt earlier. Yeah, and it's eruptive because these emotions have nowhere else to go. They are boiling to the surface. We are leaving fire and air, and we're moving in, fire and air, we're moving into water and earth. But we have this combination, interestingly enough, of water and fire right now that is boiling things to the surface, boiling that fire. That fire is cooking the water and it's bringing things up to the surface. PK says, broke down this week too. Lisa says, yes, had a a big and painful breakthrough, but wow, it was healing. I see. Yeah, I know it is very healing. It is important that we allow these emotions to surface, but it's important when we're on this journey of like being conscious beings of light and being in the heart, that we don't project outward, because these things are going to be triggered to us. These emotions are going to be brought to life through our family members, through possibly the mother or memories of the mother, through people that feel like family to us, people that are closest to us. That's what's really going to be cracking us open to having these emotions flood to the surface. So it's really important not to just project blame back out at whoever had cracked you open. And that's the test of emotional intelligence. Let me go let Luna in. She's outside crying, and I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, it's so cold here. It snowed again. Just a little bit, I guess, while I was sleeping. So we had more shoveling to do. So this Cancer full moon and Mars retrograding Cancer is the biggest introduction for 2025 for us all. It's very intense, it's emotional, it's reactive. And because Mars and Cancer are working, Mars and the moon are working together in a conjunction for this full moon, it's like extra, extra, extra. Lisa, you woke up to snow today too? I guess we need some cool down, right? From all this fiery energy that's arising. So Mars and the moon are intensifying the Cancer energy, as I was saying. The Cancer and Capricorn energy, or the axis of our life, which is the 4th and 10th house. And I'm going to just break that down for you guys a little bit, just in case, for those of you who don't know. These are the areas of our lives that are being activated, being triggered right now emotionally. Cancer in the natural zodiac runs into the 4th house, or rules the 4th house of home, of family, especially the mother, roots, security, our inner security and our outer security, our instinctive behaviors, ancestry. This is very ancestral. Connections to the past, our domestic life. It is the feminine energy. Then Capricorn, the opposite polarity of Cancer, rules the 10th house of career, profession, long-term goals, structure, reputation, responsibility, public image, social standing, achievements, authority, power, the father, bosses, the masculine energy. And this is exactly what I've been struggling with since yesterday. I'm not really struggling with it anymore, but it was one of the biggest emotional eruptions that I had personally. Yes, and the moon rules Cancer. Yep. So we've got like quite the shakeup going on right now with the masculine and feminine energy within us. But specifically right now with this moon energy and Mars energy, it is our inner child. It is the feminine. It is suppressed feminine energy. It is the mother. It is emotional security and security in general. And all of that I just mentioned. This energy carries a very powerful pattern from our family, our roots, our past, our childhood, our memories, including subconscious memories, past lifetimes, like past lives are coming up for many people, complex energy that brings up victim mentality. I certainly played that out with myself this morning. And it's okay. It's okay to even admit, you know, I was actually feeling like a victim all over again, because this energy triggers that victimization within. Not to deny that we hadn't been victims of some bullshit when we were children, basically, but we can't, when we're more mature and emotionally mature, like I said in my video, I don't know how many of you even saw that or not, and it's okay if you didn't. What arose in me was like, there was this passion, things that I was so fired up and excited about, and a lot of them are like downloaded from spirit, and to share and express, it fell upon deaf ears. It fell flat. It was like ignored. And I'm having that happen again. And all of the players in my current game board are reenacting in a way, not intentionally, by the way, but it's playing this reenactment that is bringing up this like, what the fuck energy inside of me that's just like, why is this happening? You know, I really had to have an eruptive reaction before the clarity came, because I was then guided last night. It took me down memory lane into my childhood. I didn't even understand why we were going back there, but I was like, okay, we'll go back here. And then it wasn't until this morning when I really felt the feelings, and I had to myself and to my guides, my eruptive emotional reaction to, why is this happening again? Why does this always it doesn't always happen, but that's the victim in me. It's, oh, this always happens, you know? Why does this always happen? I get excited, I get passionate, you give me these downloads, I'm excited about them, I go to present them, and it's like, wah, wah, wah. And then and asking that very specific question, boom, flashes again of my childhood and the things that I was passionate about then, gymnastics, dance, all the things that my mother was too busy. Too busy to pay attention to, too busy to take me to, too busy to, I was not the priority because she was in survival mode. She was working, she was distracted. And then when she wasn't, there was another character that came into her life to distract her that way. So all of those things that were really fiery inside of me fizzled out. I suddenly developed this, I don't give a shit anymore attitude, angry inside, right? That comes back up whenever I have these reenactments. I get excited about something, I put it all together, I'm ready to present, I'm ready to do, I'm ready to take action, and phew, the excitement washes away. There's nobody to present it to, or there's no, take it as you will. This is just my own personal experience in this axis. It just fizzles away. And what do I do with that fire and that passion inside? Do I keep going? Do I believe in myself? In the past, I'm like, fuck it. Sorry about my language, but it's like, screw it. If nobody else cares, I don't care either. And that attitude's got to go. That attitude's got to go. That's what it was showing me. To not let that fiery passion go out. Not let that light get dimmed because of the outside world. It's really complex. And that's just an example. I know other people have deeper, more painful examples, I'm sure. I've been there too, says Lisa. Gotta scrape it off during the refining process. Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg with Mars, and we'll be used to it. After the retrograde period, when Mars starts to move direct again, we are going to have more clarity. We're going to have more understanding as to why things happen the way they do, why we act the way we do, why we have reactions the way we do, patterns of escapism, patterns of reactivity, a lot of repressed and suppressed anger in this energy. I must say, I hate to say it, but it's not going to be the most warm and fuzzy, fluffy, fun-filled full moon energy. We can make it what we will, but we've got to honor the feelings that are rising up. We can't fake this energy. You can't fake it out. You can't bypass it. You can try, but it will actually crank up the heat. It will get more and more intense. So it's better to just work through it and understand what your higher self, what the universe is actually gifting us clarity on our actions and reactions, Mars, our internal inner child, and the suppressed emotions that we had not allowed ourselves to express, or they were not allowed to be expressed because of maybe parental figures or whatnot, to actually be expressed and felt and loved and honored and nurtured and transformed into wisdom, into medicine. This is self-mastery. This whole year is going to be a year of self-mastery. So I don't know if I mentioned already. I think I did. The complex energy that brings up the victim mentality, emotional rage, emotional responses, big emotional triggers. Full moons, they bring to the surface everything that's been hidden. It's an illumination moon energy of hidden emotions or emotions that we haven't expressed. And this is where we can really also kind of clean up and clear up our relationship with ourselves and our relationship to others. I know that we're not out of the woods with the Aries Libra Karmic Axis. We still have another eclipse in Aries coming up in March. So even though the lunar nodes have switched, and this is kind of I'm excited about this Pisces Virgo axis personally, but we're still working with our relationship to ourselves and our relationships to others, and to understand that one of the reasons why other people might not understand us, or we may not fully understand them, is because of so many suppressed and repressed emotions that have not been expressed, even within ourselves. So it's about knowing ourselves. It really is. But, people that we're in relationship with and family, they might not even really know what we want or need because we haven't been able to express it. And we might not know what they really want because emotions haven't been expressed and they're suppressed, they're repressed. So we're dealing with suppressed Mars anger, passive aggressiveness, oppressed rage. And we've got to learn ways to express to others what we need, what we want, and how we feel. And allow others space to express to us what they need, want, and feel without guessing what's in each other's hearts, minds, and emotions. So a good question to ask ourselves, all of us, is what patterns are coming up related to childhood that are being repeated? Because until we see it, learn the lesson, feel it, heal it, these cycles will repeat themselves. So we're gifted an opportunity to break a pattern within ourselves. An opportunity to be heard, an opportunity to be understood by others, but more importantly, to be heard and understood by ourselves. So there's that Aries Libra axis I was talking about. There's something inside each of us that wants to be understood, heard, seen, noticed, recognized, that wants nurturing, that wants to be taken care of. Maybe for the very first time in our lives, we will have that experience if we allow it. So it's also about opening ourselves up and allowing the understanding, the nurturing to come to us, be receptive to that as well. It's a big step for most of us who have been walking around in our minds for the most part. And yes, in our hearts and expressing certain emotions, but these are big ones. These are the big emotions that we've been taught are not okay to express. Anger, rage, they come out in very weird and odd ways, you know? Lisa, I have, but fell on deaf ears. Martin says, don't forget to breathe and stretch. If we are appreciated correctly, we might be loved more correctly and completely. I like that. Yeah. We have to learn to really give that to ourselves. Again, Cancer, nurturing. We're learning to be the mother to ourselves right now, the inner children in ourselves. Self-care is really important right now, for sure, for sure. This is all about emotional growth, emotional intelligence, like I was saying, emotional maturity, so that we're not walking around in just the intellect, the mind, and pretending like everything's okay, or I should be bigger than that. I'm an adult. I'm grown up. I don't need to. A lot of childish, I don't want to say childish, but it's like the immature, the unmet needs, emotional needs are surfacing for sure. And then going through the year, we've got the lunar nodes changing. Then we've got Venus going into her retrograde later on. So we'll be working with feminine energy. We've got all the big outer planets moving, changing signs. We are going through quite the galactic shift. And I will say that also, I'm going to show you my little diagram. You might be able to see it. Hello, Amy. A silver D, says Martin. We are going through, we actually have, well, let's say March. I have it somewhere here. No, did I not write that down? I have the date somewhere. My gosh, I have written so much on this energy. It's crazy. Okay. All right, so I just wrote the end of March. So the end of March, we will have, see how we are presently at the ending the shadow period of the Kali Yuga. We went through the Dark Ages, where we were born into the Dark Ages. This is a 26,000 year cycle. And for the last 5,000 years, we've been pulling ourselves out of the shadow of the Dark Ages, of the Kali Yuga, out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius. I don't know if you guys can see all of that, right? So this is really happening. I know we've all been talking about this for years and years and years, in the age of Aquarius and out of the Kali Yuga and out of the Dark Ages. This is happening. End of March this year, the shadow period of the Dark Ages, of the Kali Yuga, is complete. Hi, Dustin. Alchemy. Amy pulled the Ten of Cups, the Moon, and Wheel of Fortune cards in tarot this morning. That's a good spread. So yes, we are moving out. So we've been in the Dark Ages where we forgot. We had amnesia. We forgot where we came from. We forgot who we were. And we forgot that we're all connected. The Matrix is disintegrating. And we can see that throughout the world right now. It is coming apart. It's meant to. It cannot hold up in the new energy. And I will say also, for anybody who is suppressing emotions in this new frequency of 2025, you will, unfortunately, experience physical symptoms, physical ailments. And so, because the body cannot hold that density in the newer frequency. Also, hi Dustin, I love you all. Also, 2025, we are in the solar maximum. We're going to be receiving more and more intense solar storms. Cosmic rays are coming in because we are also, our solar system, we are moving through the galactic current sheet, or the heliospheric current sheet, which is affecting our magnetic field around the sun and around the earth. And so these energies that are coming in from the sun, from the cosmos, woo boy, intense. And this year is the most intense, the 2025 solar maximum. We're coming out of a 60-year cycle, iron into bronze. Or is that 6,000? Yeah, about 6,000 years, depending on what. Everybody's got a little bit of a different adjustment years. It's a lot of years, right? We're coming out of that. I'm pulling in from the Hindu Yuga, as well as what we look at as far as the ages of Pisces to Aquarius. So, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of change. It's something to get excited about because now 2025 and 2026, what I was picking up was these are kind of like the bridge. It's like bridge years to the new paradigm. Like we are creating the new paradigm now. Yes, 26,000 years. Exactly. That's what I had too. I lost my train of thought here. But Pluto's movement into Aquarius last November really was the fire starter into this new paradigm, this new age. But we've got to do our work. That's the thing. We've got to do our inner work to make it through. Because if we're still acting and reacting on the old paradigm, what are we creating? We're still helping keep that old matrix alive, and it's falling apart. It's crumbling. It's very interesting. We're just gonna leave it at that. So let's get into some cards. Where do we want to begin? Oh, they want me to start off with Starseed. Okay. All right, and I say leave the book. Okay. I will say that all of last week, and maybe you guys are having this too, I've been getting so many, my guides have been like downloading information, but it's for me. I hadn't really, I was kind of cut off from collective energy because I feel and read collective energy my whole life. I always have. And sometimes I can kind of get into that a little bit too much and not so much pay attention to my journey. So this past week had been all about me, and I was grateful for it because there's definitely things that I can't take, I don't want to take with me, going forward. Yes, Dustin, exactly. Our inner work will reflect great change in our external world. See, we're all contributing to that, We're all contributing to the collective consciousness, to this paradigm, to the old paradigm or the new paradigm, depending on where you want to put your focus. I suggest putting the focus on self, what is coming up. Let's purify, let's cleanse, let's heal, let's purge, let's recognize, let's have emotional intelligence. Let's no longer follow the patriarchal paradigm of the past. It's time to let that go. The power over top-down patriarchal paradigm. These are the things that are going to be changing. Education, educational systems, especially, you know, when we have some of these bigger outer planets move. All right, so they're saying, we'll get into a little bit. When we have, see how much stuff I have written on Mars. It's absolutely insane. I'm just, that's the Virgo in me. I can't help it. Who is it? Jupiter. Well, Jupiter's going to move into Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. That's not what I wanted to talk about. Uranus. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. So shocks, surprises, liberating us. Taurus, all about our money. It's ruled by Venus. It's earthly, material possessions, things that we value. It's important to recognize also weather patterns, and how weather patterns had shifted from 2018 to now because Uranus was in Taurus. Uranus disrupts. Uranus is electric, and it is affecting our weather patterns and the Earth's patterns, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, you name it. So we've had a lot of that going on. The weather patterns since 2018 have been kind of off the chart. Uranus moves into Gemini July 7th. So it's going to change direction into communication, technology, news, media, education, educational systems, learning, gathering information, social media, internet, online interactions, online businesses, all of these things. There's a lot of disruptive energies related to our mental patterns as well, but it's bringing big changes to all human beings because we're in this very, very fast-paced, busy world, right? This busy time. Uranus is rebellious, revolutionary ideas, thoughts, speeches, information, knowledge, big changes coming from that. Downloads. Now we've got North Node in Pisces. It's very spiritual. More and more people are getting downloads, maybe realizing that they're channels. There's going to be more writers, more channelers. It's going to be a wild year. It's going to be a really wild year. What else did I want to highlight really quickly? Well, I did bring up the soul tribe, the soul family, connecting to soul family, like deeply. And that's Jupiter. Jupiter entering Cancer in June, where Jupiter is exalted. So that is really good news. That is great energy. And that is first going to shake up what we... our beliefs and our perceptions on family patterns, the old paradigm of family, the nuclear family, that is changing. What is family to self? If you reflect, or if you even dig into other cultures or indigenous cultures, when a child is born, not only did the mother and father care for that child, the entire tribe cares for that child. We're not meant to be in the structures and systems that we have been operating in for all of this time. It has been under a design that goes against our very nature. I'm looking forward to the change too. I really, really am. Jupiter's also wisdom and higher knowledge, so it's important. We're going to understand our emotional patterns a lot more easily. one thing that you might want to do, this could be something fun, and just write a little note to yourself. Write a letter to yourself now. And go back and read it at the end of this year and see how much you've changed. Because you could, I feel like a lot of us are going to be completely different people by the end of this year. Hello, Jess. Whew. It feels good to be here with you guys. I had to really work through my own stuff. I had to work through my own inner child was kicking and screaming and crying at me. And I had to really give her my love and attention and clear a lot of that out before I could really be in a place where I can share with others. But this morning was like the break. It all came out and I was like, I gotta share it. I gotta share it with everybody. So what is the message for us all? And it's so, oh, I just got a flash of heat. It's so wonderful. You know, I feel how magical and powerful our collective energy on this community is. We only had one person try to break in, just one, or bot, or whatever that was. Quickly saw them, kicked them off, and I feel like we are a powerful group. First card out is perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. So fascinating because this is the card that came to me this morning when the victim part in me, the inner child that was like, it's not fair, why does this keep happening, all of this stuff, and even just the events that triggered that part of me to be upset, be angry, it quickly turned around and this card popped in my head. It's like, this, none of, zoom out. I'm always zoomed out, but I happen to be honed in. Zoom out. None of this matters. This is part of the process. This is part of the process. So whatever it is that is activating us, triggering us to feeling deep, suppressed and repressed emotions right now, honor that. Because Neptune is in the mix with all of this right now, I must say, in a trine. I don't remember the exact aspect, but the message I kept receiving is things are not as they appear to be right now. Things are happening for a very specific reason for each and every one of us to trigger these Cancer inner child emotions from our childhood that have been suppressed, to work with that, to recognize our patterns and our reactivity to things, and what do we do with all of that? Yes, we are. We be the change. That's right, Amy. Yes, we are. Strong tribe here. Yes, Jess, our tribe is strong. Martin says, I just noticed Saturn in Pisces is squaring the moon tonight, and Jupiter joined in Gemini, joined with Jupiter. Saturn in Pisces squaring the moon in Gemini, joined with Jupiter. Well, that's actually, yeah, zoom out. Saturn in Pisces is really helping us with this Pisces North Node right now. It has been. So I find it to be such a blessing because we're really hard on ourselves. It's showing us where our strict discipline has been linked to the patriarchal ways that we have been disciplined as children. Also, how that's dissolving, how that is going away. Yeah. Sounds like a lot smart, but I'm unable to decode. I'll tell you what Saturn is doing. Let me see. If I can find it. Because I have a whole blurb on Saturn. And it was really good. It was really helpful for me when I was getting this information. Okay. Neptune as well, but Saturn specifically, because Saturn is Capricorn energy. It is our inner disciplinarian, or how we have been molded and shaped by our discipline, by formal schooling, right? By our parents, by society at large. Saturn in Pisces has been helping us become adjusted to the North Node in Pisces, which happened just today, just moved into Pisces today, and the eclipse cycles that we'll be experiencing this year. Saturn has been preparing us with mental discipline, spiritual discipline, ability to bring spirit into matter. That's what it was. So the Pisces energy, the spiritual, Saturn is helping us bring that down to earth, to ground, into Saturn is what we materialize, what we manifest as a physical reality. To have pure thoughts, pure body and heart, to really take care of ourselves and not expect that others are going to take care of ourselves, not expect others to save us, not expect something external to save our life. That's the illusion that we might be faced with, especially during the eclipse cycles. We'll be faced with many illusions with the North Node in Pisces, and this is important to pay attention to as well. Discernment, intuition, very important this year, very important for all of us. We are waking up to those illusions now. You can see it in the world stage. Even, like, I'm not going to bring up a lot of the crap that's going on but in America, but there's a lot. And with that, I think you all know what I'm talking about, between the drones, the fires, the floods, and how people have been seeing through the cracks, peeling the curtain back and seeing beyond the veil of truth, what is actually happening and what is coming apart if we allow it to. We're waking up to illusions. Sometimes things aren't as they seem. And this is why discernment is so important. Also, to recognize our addictions, where our anxiety comes from, to recognize what triggers us and what they're meant to really show us. This may not be easy for a majority of people because many people don't want to take responsibility, and it's easier to have somebody to follow, to externalize their own health and happiness and peace onto. But this year's going to be a big wake-up call, a big alarm going off on all levels to go within and work on self-development and self-betterment. So it's big. It's big, it's big, it's big. Perspective. Zoom out. None of this matters. This is all a shit show right now going on to help us become better spiritual beings in these human meat suits. And we're downloaded with all of this light or information, and our ability to hold this light is increasing more and more and more, and our hearts are going to crack wide open this year in a major way so that we can expand and hold even more of this light. Yeah, the masks are off. I mean, people might still walk around pretending like everything's okay, but we can see right through it. Yeah, the meat suits, that's right. Oh, Amy, I don't think PK, oh yeah, there she is. PK, Amy says hi. PK's playing in the snow and listening, so she might not be reading the comments. Dustin says, dot connecting is gaining momentum within society. Lisa says, I have been seeing the truth with the people in my life, and it's been very hard to watch. It is hard to watch. Yeah. And that's where, compassion sets in, right? because we can't control what others do. We can't even, the only way we can influence others is to, again, be that change, live our lives from the heart, and notice when we put on a mask, notice when I talked about it this morning. I caught myself and my ability to I see this feeling. I know where it comes from. Let's move on. I wanted to just bypass that because I didn't want to feel it, because logically it seemed stupid and immature. And that feeling got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, inner child. Come out. Let me hear you. Let me see you. What is this about? That's emotional wisdom and, maturity. Yes, be the example. PK, can't fake it till you make it. No facades. That's right. That's right. Absolutely not. You can't fake it. Be the example. Dustin says, I feel so peaceful here now. Thank you all for your energy. Well, you're part of it. You are a part of it too. PK says, and yes, I am playing in the snow, making my howling wolf snow sculpture. The cold helps me feel so many things. Good. You are really good at sculpting in the snow, that's for sure. And PK and I, we only live about 3 miles away from each other. I've seen some of her snow and ice sculptures in the past. They're amazing. So we start off with perspective. And the advice is to really zoom out. Whatever is happening right now, whatever people are acting like a certain kind of way or doing things to really bring up that inner child, it's going to bring a story, a narrative, and it's going to bring the victim up to the surface. Instead of projecting it out and keeping that story alive, go within. Find that place where these are hidden spots. These are tender wounds. It's treat yourself as you would treat a child, an innocent child in pain, emotional pain, because we are those children, just in these adult forms. Oh, you do have heated clothing. That's right. Oh, no. Dustin and PK are two different people. Dustin is in California. PK her name's Chris, actually, and she lives down the road from me. We've been friends for how long now? Since 2019? People think we're sisters. Okay, so interesting. The next card that came out is the Void. Stop. Embrace winter. The great cosmic womb. How perfect is that? And look at the darkness of these cards, but it's actually not darkness to fear. The void is where nothing and everything exists. It is the great cosmic womb. Embrace winter. This is a slowdown period. This is a slowdown time. If we look at our life and the seasons, well, especially if you live in an area like where I live, where we have all 4 seasons, and we have trees that grow beautiful leaves and produce flowers and berries and nuts and fruit. And then in the fall, leaves start to fall off and die. In the winter, it's still alive, but it's in a dormancy phase. It's hibernating, basically. Then we have spring, where there's new growth that comes again. And here we are in winter in the northern hemisphere. It's asking us to embrace this time of our life, this time period in our life, because something big is shifting and changing. Big. life, this whole paradigm. It almost seems too good to be true. And I feel like there's still a part in me that's like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And I want to like erase that from my mentality because I know that it's coming. And I also know a lot of times I'll see it when I believe it. And I do believe it. It's just, been talking about it nonstop for the last 6 years and doing readings nonstop for the last 6 years. And here we are. And we're already witnessing change. And it's going to come as deconstruction. It's going to come as chaos. It's going to come as loss for many. But it's because what is going away needed to, in some way, shape, or form. Because the new can't be built on old, faulty foundations. It's got to come all the way down. Even to the systems of like Social Security for people here in the United States, for the elderly who have paid a lot of money into the system. And it began with a system that most likely people built and created because they care about each other. Yet it got corrupted very quickly. And now the older people who are retired and solely rely on the money they've paid into to come back to them are finding that that's dwindling away. And it's always been a saying ever since I was a kid that by the time you're old, Social Security won't even be a thing. So luckily, many of us Gen Xers and others are like we had to pay into it. We're like, well, this is bullshit because I'm never even going to see this anyway. It's just the whole system is so corrupt, but that's changing. I can't tell you when, but it's changing big time. You are embracing winter there. Winter is the hardest season. Yeah, Dustin's about 30 to 40 minutes away from the fires. Let's get another one. So we have a lot of increasing energies coming onto the planet from the sun, from the cosmic energies. We're going to be asked to up level over and over again to be able to hold and process these energies. To really pay attention and listen to, and the biggest, I don't want to say challenge, but like the hardest thing with these new frequencies and new energies is for anybody who is still walking around like with suppressed emotion and just like telling themselves everything's okay, like in this other fantasy land, but in their body there's this stored suppressed density and emotion that is like it will cause physical ailments, and it has been for a lot of people. I can't even tell you how many people have been taken away by ambulance this year into the hospital, or even just like admitted to the hospital for things, and find out that they've got a clean bill of health. They're diagnosed with like anxiety or depression or something like that. Their body's telling them something. Their body's reacting. Their heart, a lot of people are feeling like they're having heart attacks because they're suppressed emotion. Ugh. PK, being a winter baby, if I weren't, I feel like winter would be so hard as well. Something about my birthday in winter gives me some light in this dark season. Also weird, it feels dark, but snow, it's bright. Yeah, the snow is bright. Martin says it will affect people's health. Yeah, has been, but it like, I mean, personally, from all of December, the solar flares and CMEs and other energies, cosmic energies coming in, and the Schumann reacting to that, I felt it in such an intense way. Not in pain, but it was almost like this, like, woo, like I was riding a roller coaster and witnessing a lot of people just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. The only thing physical that it affected me was a tooth that I have. Every now and then I'll get a zap in my jaw and like, oh, I feel it. And it's usually when we're getting bombarded with a lot of energy. Oh, you buried both your cats 20 days apart. Whew. Something about the cats. Cats are very psychic too. I'm sorry, Martin. Lisa says, I'm sorry, Martin, too. So then we have Messenger. Serious energy. Like from the Syrian. Bringing harmony and balance. Look at that. That's beautiful. So if we learn to appreciate winter, regardless where you are, just the theme of winter in the energetics of slow down, go within, zoom out your perspective, work through that healing, honor the void, know that we are creator beings. We are being protected also, as far as our creations, when we are in this phase of working through old energy, a lot of old stuff from the past coming up, and it's helping us to really acknowledge ourselves and our patterns and what we have rejected, denied, suppressed about ourselves, within ourselves, and the narratives and stories that come from our deep childhood wounds. And we're going through that passage. This is like a passage of sorts to feeling them, really feeling them, so that we're healing them consciously. This is a conscious experience that we're doing, with the understanding that we are bringing not only peace and balance and harmony to ourselves, but we are also, because we're all interconnected into this web, we are also bringing peace and harmony and balance to the collective web, to all of us. Because those of you who really deeply feel collective energy like me, I feel like we all do, but you consciously are aware when you're picking up collective energy. And remind me to talk about telepathy after this, but consciously aware that we're picking up collective energy. It's like we're the weather barometers for how everybody is feeling and whether they're expressing their feelings or not. For those of you who are severe empaths like me, to be in a room or be in the presence of somebody who has so much suppressed, repressed, denied emotional energy, it hurts. It's uncomfortable. I have another friend who, she's asked me, she's like, why does my body hurt like so bad after I'm in a room with like so-and-so with certain people? I'm like, because you're picking up on something that they might not even fully be aware that they're still, like, yeah, and my jaw even gets tense. It's crazy, but like we feel it. It's painful sometimes it's not even painful to watch, it's painful to feel other people's suppression. So the more of us who consciously are working with energy and working on our own stuff to release it, we are helping others. We're kind of untangling some knots. We are helping others maybe open up a little bit more and kind of peek into letting some of their, it's like those pressure cookers. It's like releasing some of the steam, releasing some of the energy, so it's not so condensed and tight and painful. Lisa says, I actually get sick to my stomach when I'm around that energy. Yeah, I have a lot of people that tell me that they get sick to their stomach. I used to. I'm not, I guess I process it a little different now, but I feel it in the back of my head. I'll feel it in my shoulders. I'll feel it in my jaw. I'll feel it like in certain places. But yeah. Dustin, I used to identify as an introvert, but truthfully, I was just extra sensitive and very empathic. Yep. Tori, hi Tori. I can't even go out to the store without having a panic attack because I can feel all the energy. I know, it's hard. Karen, hello Karen. Yeah, but we don't want to keep walking in the world this way. We've got to keep releasing our stuff and having healthy energetic boundaries and being aware. It is difficult because our energy fields are actually expanding and they're getting stronger, and they do extend. They extend way out from our body. So when we are in a room or in a space with others, our energy bodies are touching each other. That's why we feel it so deeply. It's crazy. So I'll let you know when I figure out or perfect a way to not feel somebody's stuff, because I'm just as sensitive. And if I even touch somebody else, shake hands or give a hug, and there's something going on within them, I can clear it from me really quickly, but I can't do anything about that initial interaction yet. But I keep hearing, not yet, I'll get there. Hello. Amy says, I find exercising helps move that energy out of my body when I feel like that. Yes, moving around, exercise. Even if you just go home and you just start dancing around your house, get or brushing. Some people do brushing on their skin. Tapping, EFT tapping is really good. There's many different modalities that will help you kind of get yourself back into your own energy and clear the energy field of others, especially for those of us who are energy workers and we work with other people's energy. It's definitely something. I think we're perfecting that, because I was in a room with people yesterday, and somebody wasn't expressing themselves truthfully or fully, and I felt it in my throat chakra. It felt like I was being choked. And by the time I got home, excuse me, my throat was on fire. I had a sore throat, and I was like, oh my God, am I getting sick? Then I realized, I'm like, no, that's throat chakra. I know exactly where that came from. And as soon as I, recognized it and was able to clear it, it went away. All right, let's pull a couple tarot. So the messenger is that through the void, with a zoomed out perspective, we are bringing harmony and balance. We are designed for this. We're so undisciplined, I know. Jess says, I have a hair tie on my wrist. I'll snap sometimes to pull me back in. Yeah, there's many different ways to do it. And, I just lost what I was, so now I'm picking up so much. Hold on. Let me just feel into that. Are we okay? So we are designed for this, you guys. It's not something I know back in the day when I realized my sensitivity and I kind of got myself off the hook of it's a gift, it's not a curse, and was able to use it for good. It still took a long time to understand energy and how I run energy through my body. And all of us are designed a little bit differently. And it's important to actually maybe even get in touch and understand your human design chart, because that'll help you understand how you run energy through your body. But even so, we are our higher self. We knew we were coming into what we're in. So we are designed for this, for what we are about to embark on, what we have been in, actually what we are clearing from what we were born into, from what has been, the world had been riddled with or placed under this darkness. And now the light is coming in, and it's like, so imagine yourself being in this dark room, black, pitch black room. Well, these aren't really pitch black, but dark room for 30, 40 years or more. And suddenly someone comes and turns the light on. It's going to be a little shocking at first, right? It's going to be a little difficult to see properly. It's going to be like, it's going to take a minute or a few minutes or a few hours to like get yourself in order there, you know? And I feel like that's kind of what we're in now because of the way that the time cycles are showing me, you know? We can't disregard how much density we have been living in. We can't disregard all that we were born into and what we had experienced. We've been in a purging and purifying and cleansing process for years now. So a lot of us, you know, are going to actually ride 2025 out with much more ease and grace than the majority or a good chunk of the collective. So that's going to actually, it's going to help speed up the process of others' awakening process. It's going to, their awakening process most likely is not going to be as traumatic and jarring and shocking and painful. It still will be, but not as much as ours was. Do you know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Karen likes to clap her hands. It's like a heavy wet blanket that I'm taking off, right? So I keep reminding myself, you know, we've done a lot of work, a lot of inner work, a lot of energetic work, staying conscious and present, as well as trying to really, not trying, embracing and embodying love, beauty, fun, joy, happiness, laughter. That's what I'm all about. I'll tell you. I mean, it appears, the perspective for many appears to be we are falling on dark times when really the light is being turned on the globe. It's like click. And people are like, wait, what? What is happening? Like they're starting to see more truth. Light is information, true information. Now the dark is scattering around like they're still trying to keep the puppet show going, pulling on the reins and doing this and that. But even that is becoming more and more apparent to a lot of people, especially the younger generations, And again, no judgment to anybody. It's all part of the divine plan, you know? PK, we're all connected. It's balance. What all of nature moves towards. Yeah. Yep. Lisa said, I couldn't agree with you more. Laughter is so important. It's so important. And that doesn't mean I don't take things seriously, But there are times where even my guides will come in and say, you are taking this way too literally and seriously right now. And I'm like, oh, you know, okay. All right. Seven of Swords. King of Swords, lots of swords. Okay, so for anybody who's still really stuck in... Ooh. For anybody who's still stuck in the mind, still stuck in the story, still lost in the fog, still checking out, still going to escapism. Escapism is big right now, so be mindful of your patterns, because it's almost like you can't escape it. And if you try, it's like gonna come back around and smack you on the backside of your head. For those who are stuck in the... So when the emotions get triggered, it's usually triggered from somebody or something. It affects the mind first. It affects a story, a narrative. It brings it from the subconscious to the conscious mind, and the emotions swirl. But because many of us have been so in the mind, programmed and conditioned and taught to be in the mind so much, you can get stuck there, and it's important to then zoom out. Just like I was saying, like the guides sometimes say, you're taking this a little too seriously. Like the energy will dissipate once you get the lesson, once you see what it is you're meant to see and clear emotionally. So zoom out, have the bigger picture perspective, find a common ground within yourself. It's great that you have such great guidance. I do have great guidance. I love the guides. They're amazing. PK page, laughter is what we do best. It is. Jess, I agree. There are moments I laugh hard just being in this space with you. That's right. And laughter is the best medicine. That is for sure. That is for sure. Within the void. So this slow down phase, this time to really go within is so important, because we're going to get clarity, a new perspective, or just completely crystal clear perspective, the bird's eye view perspective on our actions and reactions. When the emotional body and the mind are triggered, what patterns arise? We're going to see that right off the bat. King of Wands in this deck, I always see that as things not going the way we want them to go. And that's exactly what I was talking about this morning. It was like there was something I was passionate about. King of Wands is passionate. There's something I executed, put a lot of time and work and energy into creating. And because we are in a void, they're just not going the way that I wanted them to go, the way I envisioned them to go, the way that I desired them to go. And what kind of emotional reactions and patterns arose within me. And I had to really sit with them. I didn't take action on them, but I really sat with them from last night into all morning this morning. The heart's expression of happiness, laughter, absolutely. And then the messenger bringing, the star system, Sirius, not being serious, but Sirius, is helping to bring, maybe you're receiving, maybe many of us are receiving messages from Sirius right now, which is our sun's twin, basically, or our sun's sun. It's bringing us into a place, once we get more regulated and balanced emotionally, back into the heart, so that we are able to really process all of our emotions. King of Cups is emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation. And that opens us up for something new. Something new, where once, at one point in time, it could have been something that, let me get one more on that. I'm reading this a little bit. This is interesting because I've been receiving these messages too, and I don't know, there's a part in me that doesn't want to like receive the message or receive, and I kept getting messages of be open to receiving, and I'm like, so some of us, or all of us, have had moments in our life's journey where there's definitely something or someone that has touched our heart in a very powerful and very important way, opening us up to our own beauty and love. What is that? There was a video, I shared it on my Facebook. This guy was talking. It was a beautiful way he put it. You know, when you fall in love with somebody, for example, it's not necessarily that you're really falling in love with the other person. Yes and no. What you're falling in love with is the version of you that comes alive when you are in the presence of this other person, because the other person opened something up inside. That's what we love, how we feel, who we become. And then when that goes away, when that person goes away, it seems like love is taken away. And if it's not a person, it is anything, something that you deeply love, right? Something or someone. It's because we close back down. We close our heart back down, and we feel the pain of the loss of the love, and we think it's because it's gone away from us from another physical person, when really we're the ones doing that to ourselves by closing back down, because we're giving that power away to another person, place, or thing, that thinking that is what made us feel so good. No, we have that energy. We are love. We are this energy naturally, organically. We've just been so closed off because we've been hurt so many times. So this message here is that we've all had these experiences, and then it kind of going away. The message I kept getting was, be open to receiving, because there's going to be another opportunity. And I've already had opportunities to do this on my own, just life in general. Like yesterday, I looked up out of my skylight. There's rainbows and a big aurora around the sun, but there's all these different prisms up in the sky, and I'm like, whoa. And it opened my heart up, and I rode that energy out for a couple hours. It was a beautiful experience of like just feeling alive and in love with myself, in love with life, in love with everything. Until I then like I got taken off of that beautiful bubble I was riding, when my trigger had to come in and be like, guess what? All that you've been working on and are excited about, it's not going to happen the way you thought it was going to happen, or when you thought it was going to happen. And not that I really closed down all the way, but anyway. back to the message here, because it's the messenger. We're receiving messages, or when we're bringing ourselves back into balance. This new, something new coming in, it's going to be another go around. It's another opportunity. And I feel like many of us have been wishing and hoping for this to have another chance, to have another experience, another like heart awakening, heart chakra experience with another. And at the same, on the flip side, there's part of us that's like, that's too good to be true. That's not going to last. It's not going to sustain. So it's important to get into our own heart. What part of us? Why do we think? Because look at this guy. He's like down on the ground like, oh, I want it so bad. But at the same time, I don't, because it hurt. But when we have that realization of like, oh, I don't have to actually give that. Like, I don't have to, yeah, you can share that beautiful energy with another person, but don't place it on them like it's them, if that makes sense. That's the long short of it. Overall, the Hierophant. Because the way that we relate to people, relationships are going through a whole nother paradigm shift. Complete and utter tearing down the old ways of marriage, relationship, nuclear family, how the dynamics, and like boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 boyfriend, boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. Like, that is like getting so rattled up and shaken, and all the rules and all of the traditions, and like, you've got to be this way and you've got to do it that way. That's like clearing the board, okay? This is why a lot of relationships are coming apart. A lot of marriages are falling apart, because they were built off an old foundation, an old belief system that actually goes against our very nature. Yes, and Hierophant is Chiron. Chiron in Aries. Yep. So when we get into that mental realization of, I actually have this inside of me. So when I am in the presence of others, and I give that to them too, we activate the best of us comes out, right? So we are getting to the core of ourselves, becoming the very best of ourselves, and not placing that onto another person, but sharing it with another person. If that makes sense, you know? Beautiful. Aww. I talk to Sirius on clear nights. I love watching it twinkle all shades of blue. Yeah. My grandson did that for me. Beautiful. Oh, resonates so deeply. Yep. Yeah. The relationship paradigm. I mean, we're coming out of that karmic axis. We're going to have another go around in another 9 years and 18 years. Like, these are the weird cycles of the lunar nodes. I mean, they're all intertwined, but we like have these big experiences and lessons for like 18 months, a year and a half, and then it's like shifts into another angle or another direction. Another part of our life is then the focal point of the karmic lesson. But then the eclipses come through and we open back up and we complete a cycle. So this is how we grow and evolve and change, and you can reflect back on yourself of how you know, who you were in relationships in the past, or not anywhere close to being who we are now in relationship to ourselves or to others. Now that is a beautiful, I mean, we all needed that kind of a kick in the butt when it comes to relationships, because that old paradigm, and look, we got 6 of Cups below the Hierophant, that old paradigm needed to end. I never resonated with it, that's for sure. And that's probably why I was always so misunderstood when in my own relationships, as well as, yes, my Chiron wound and the Cancer wound that I shared earlier this morning of like, I've never been understood or heard, really, truly, as a child. I was like, hear me, see me. It just fell on deaf ears, and eventually you shut it down like, All right. Like your passion goes, but it's still there. The fire is still there. So I feel like is that all? Oh, okay. We're gonna pull one more card. We're gonna get a native spirit card. It's been a while since I pulled a card from this deck to wrap it up. Yeah, and I feel like these big outer planets are a big deal. Big, huge deal in just changing. We can't, like, it's gonna change whether like it or not, but I'm excited about it. It's like important for us to get excited about it. It's not gonna look too exciting outside. Not all areas are gonna be like complete and utter destruction and chaos, but things are coming apart. And people are gonna be panicking. So those of us who are consciously aware, which is a good chunk of people, I will say, and we're not clinging to the past. We're not clinging to the old systems because they never did us any favors anyway. We can just let it all roll. Like, let it do what it needs to do. That will speed things up for sure. Change is important for growth. I'm ready. Yes, says Jess. I am too. I think we all are. Been ready. I feel like many of us have been like, you know, a racehorse, like at the starting gate, ready to like bust through, and it hasn't been quite time yet. Karen says she's living in the moment. Yes, good. All right, Luna, I'll let you out in a minute. We have, it's so interesting. Look, we've got the perspective. We've got a lot of the dark, not in a scary way. We've got the void, and we've got spirit keepers of the north. And look at that darkness. Look at that snow and the full moon. That's what it feels like here right now. But it's not dark, but it is. Amy says, we rise above it. All the paradigms and boxes society tries to put us in. We're standing out and shining. Everything else will work out. That is right. It will. I truly believe that. I don't have any fear at all. If anything, like the long drag out to get to this point was frustrating sometimes. Because I wanted things to go the way I wanted them to go. I had to let that go. Martin says, waiting for people to catch up. Spirit Keeper of the North. Okay. Final message for us all. And it's kind of coming full circle back again. Take time for contemplation. Turn within. Connect with your ancestors. Incubate ideas. Mend relationships. Watch your dreams. Meditate. The answers are inside you, waiting to be heard. Stay warm. Create dreams for your future. Repair whatever is broken in your home and your life. Forgive those people and situations that you've been dragging around for a while. Ooh, that's this Cancer moon. We've been carrying and dragging around some people and stuff for a while. Very karmic. Time to release that. Your native spirit wants you to know, in the medicine wheel, the north is the direction that symbolizes the darkest time of night, the coldest part of winter, the dark of the moon. It also represents the elder time of life and even a time of endings. Pulling the spirit keeper of the north, sorry, Luna, indicates that it's time to take measure of your life. Explore what's working and what's not working. What and whom do you need to release? It's also time to make repairs to your physical environment as well as make repairs to your body. Additionally, this is a time to begin to dream and make plans regarding your future. Your ancestors are close at this time. Call on them. They want to help you. And Lisa says, I've been learning to let go of outcomes and expectations. Yeah. Jess says, I'm learning that one too, Lisa. Right? Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're only human. It's coming. It's going to happen. It's happening. I think we're all doing the same. I think we're all in the same wave. On the same page, so to speak. Karen says, full moon creates that luminous glow on the landscape, almost dreamlike. Yes. So it is a good time to release. Full moons are all about release, letting go, and allowing what is being illuminated within us to show itself. And with Cancer, that is definitely the inner child. Suppressed emotions, suppressed anger, suppressed rage, not feeling nurtured, cared for, heard, felt, seen, especially when it comes to family, mother, parents, those that we consider to be family, are most likely now bringing that back to the surface, but it could also be through family. Everybody's journey is a little different. Luna wants to go outside, as you can hear. So allow ourselves to cleanse ourselves and release this energy from the past so that we have a nice, fresh, clean slate to work with going forward. And we are in touch with all of our emotions, no longer suppressing anything or denying anything, but realizing that that's what keeps us stuck. That's what keeps us in pain. That's what keeps us in the past. It's time to create a whole new paradigm, a whole new world and life experience. And we are the front runners. We are the ones getting this show on the road, so to speak. So that's what I have for us all. I am so glad to share this space and time with all of you. Thank you all so much for participating and being a part of this wonderful energy exchange and allowing me to read and share my stuff with you and listening. And I just love you guys so much. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And we've got this all across the world. We are uniting. We are connecting. Yes, thank you. Dream better and stay well, says Martin. Yes. Oh, thank you, Francesca. Cleared up so much. Don't feel so broken down. No. And you're not alone. Oops. It is tough when we don't have a sounding board to really bounce things off with. So this is always a very safe space to, like, let it out in a compassionate and loving way, because there's a lot of beautiful souls on here that we're all in this together. So much love to you. Thank you, Tori. I hope you guys have a great day too. And sending you all so much love. Oh, thank you, Jess. Great to be in this amazing space. Tribe, and that is the theme of 2025, connecting with our soul tribe. So we are doing it, and it's a beautiful thing. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I will be back soon. We'll be reconnecting soon. So much love. Bye.